Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I want you to watch at least some of this clip, and then I'm going to show you something having to do with this. This is the head of Presto, head of research. He's talking about Bitcoin and Solana predictions for 2025.
In fact, we published our 2025 outlook piece recently where we talk about some price targets for Bitcoin and a few other major cryptocurrencies. Yeah, so with the BTC, our target is 210,000.
Look, they've got BNB over XRP, which it is not.
Excuse me? 210,000?
Yes.
Whoa. Okay.
Well, it's not that crazy. I mean, it's about 100% increase from where we are, and Bitcoin has done crazier things in the past.
Yeah, that's true.
Solana is a $1,000 target price, and then for Ether, we predict in terms of a ETH to BTC ratio. So recovering back to 0.05 from current 0.03.
Okay.
Yeah, ratio.
So then the key question is how? Why?
Well, there are a few things going on. So we arrive at our target price using what's called the MV/RV ratio.
Okay, we don't have to get into all that. I just wanted you to be introduced to him because I want to show you something. I went. His company's called Presto Research, and I went and found their report for 2025. This is the interesting part. More corporate action, because this is what's coming, folks. More corporate action, Circle, Ripple, Kraken to IPO. He's talking about how we haven't had a friendly situation, but now crypto-friendly environment under Trump's administration is likely to unlock opportunities that were previously too risky to pursue. Crypto startups will be viewed as attractive assets by traditional firms looking to expand into the crypto space, driving more merger and acquisition activities and higher valuations. We're already seeing hints of this. Even struggling operation like Bakkt has found a suitor in Trump media. Late-stage growth companies that have been considering going public won't miss this window of opportunity. Establishing crypto firms such as Circle, Ripple, Kraken have long been mentioned as a potential IPO candidates. As a reference, Coinbase went public in April 2021, the height of the last bull market, and it was valued at $350, if you recall. If any of the trio were to go public, it would drive industry growth in two significant ways. First, it would bring further legitimacy to the sector by contributing to the market cap of the emerging crypto sector. Then he says, second, their discussions as public companies would provide greater transparency into their operations. Well, Ripple has been more transparent than anybody, but I wanted to make that point, and then I wanted to show you something. If any of you that are around when Hodor used to do his blog, this is a quote from Hodor, and I think he's 1,000% right. He was just early. Ripple is quite cognizant of the possible market capitalization numbers along with the public relation challenges that will go with it. Their plan is not just to sit on their XRP and watch as their valuation skyrockets past the valuation of the East India Company. For those of you that are asking, what is the East India Company? I asked Grok AI to list the most valuable companies in the history of the world. The first one on the list is the Dutch East India Company. Peaked market cap adjusted for inflation, it was valued at 7.9 trillion to 8.28 trillion in today's dollars. Era, the 17th century, particularly around 1637, this company was the first to issue stock to the public and was involved in the spice trade, holding a significant monopoly over trade in Asia. I believe this is what you're going to see out of Ripple. I think Ripple could very possibly be the most valuable company in the history of the world when this happens. Good thing my sponsor linked to has Ripple private equity on the platform, which I think, I know that Ripple there's been a lot of changes in how people are looking at Ripple in a good way over the last month. And by the way, all those people, I can't wait because you're about to watch all those people on X who have slandered and libeled linked to. a real legitimate company, they're going to have egg all over their face, and I can't wait to watch, because they know who they are. All the people that lied and slandered and libeled this company, the day of reckoning is coming. They're going to get to they're going to get to look like the a-holes that they really are. Okay, now coin market cap. Let's see what we got here. 3.29 trillion total market cap. Look at what we have going on with XRP. Up 7% in the last 24 hours. Everything else, some of them are starting to turn a little green, but most of them are all in the red. Look what else is on the move. That would be Stellar, up 18%. Check that out. 5.91%. Interesting how they always move together. Now, Cowboy Crypto, who is the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, pointed something out. I was talking about SUI in my last video. He said, SUI is developed by Miston Labs. FTX led the funding for Miston Labs in their Series B round of $300 million with the support from A16C and Jay Clayton's Apollo Management. I've told you all along, folks. Been saying it for a long time. Not a coincidence that the same crypto talking heads that pumped Bitcoin and Ethereum, same faces were the investors behind FTX, same faces started pumping Solana, same faces are now pumping SUI. They get their tokens early, then pump them to eventually dump on retail, while the same and these same faces, they're the same people who point at Ripple and XRP and either call it a scam, announce they're shorting it, or claim to just not understand it. Or they just won't talk about it at all. These are not coincidences, folks. ETHgate's real. There's a reason for all of it. Now, speaking of the VC pump gang, here's Anthony Scaramucci talking about the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve.
Do you think we'll get a strategic Bitcoin reserve? Do you think that's a thing?
I do, actually.
What does that look like, do you think?
They've got the votes. Haggerty wants it. McCormick wants it.
They have the votes in the Senate, do you think?
I think so, yeah. There's 50.
Really?
I do think so, yes.
For like to her bill to get 1 million Bitcoin, right? That was her full bill,
Yeah,
right?
well,
So keep the 200,000 then.
This stuff gets horse traded, so you'll probably have 200 won't get sold. They'll probably buy another 400,000 or 500,000 Bitcoin.
What?
Over the next.
You don't think this
that's
is
gonna
real?
happen?
Senator,
Let me
about
tell
it.
you why I think it will happen. Okay, Trump wants it to happen, and he's got the Senate Banking Committee. Tim Scott wants it to happen. He's going to be the chair of the Senate Banking Committee. Bessent wants it to happen. If you're telling me there are no Democrats, and I don't believe this because a lot of Democrats voted for the SOB 121 bill. If you looked at the dispersion of vote, it was a bipartisan approval of that bill. And by the way, Ryan, it was if you were 40 or 50, let's say you were below the age of 60, you voted for the bill if you were a Democrat. If you were a fossil, like Elizabeth Warren or Sherrod Brown, you voted against it. So if you're telling me there are no Democrats that are going to vote for that, then I'll say, okay, then we're not going to get it. But I don't see that. I think Ro Khanna would vote for it. I think there's a lot of Democrats that look at it and say, if Bitcoin is digital gold and we have $600 billion of gold on reserve at our bank, in the Federal Reserve Bank, you're telling me we couldn't put $75 to $100 billion of Bitcoin on reserve?
Okay, now let's go to this one. I want to make this is good stuff too. I want you to watch this. This is I'm not sure who. Let me see if it says his title. This is a guy from Bitwise making his predictions for Bitcoin.
Ryan, your thoughts, because we don't have much time. I mean, how are people going to get into crypto and make it exciting for 2025? What should they be buying and doing?
There's so much to do in crypto. It's such an expansive space, it's super innovative, as Matt mentioned. But I do think that this new trend of more evolved products entering the market will usher in new capital. At Bitwise, we recently launched Trendwise strategies, which are momentum-based funds that buy and sell Bitcoin and Ethereum futures based on where the trends in the market are heading. And then when trends turn bearish, they buy treasuries. And so I think those kind of more mature products are coming to market and have been brought to market recently. And I think that's going to bring a lot of new investors in. This is the type of maturation that happens in other asset classes as they grow. And we're just seeing that same thing play out with Bitcoin, with crypto, which is a growing asset class that we're super excited for. So excited for new product launches, really excited for Coinbase, which is the largest crypto exchange in the US. We expect Coinbase's stock to double next year and for it to overtake Schwab as the largest brokerage in the world, with its price trading above $700. And that's a really exciting one. We're really excited about Coinbase as a company. For as far as price predictions go from Bitwise, we really expect the price of Bitcoin to double next year to 100K. We expect eventually, it says here on the screen, in 2029 that Bitcoin will overtake the $18 trillion gold market and trade above 1 million per Bitcoin. Now, that's not a 2025 prediction, but we expect that to happen in 2029. And if Donald Trump and the US government or other major governments around the world start buying Bitcoin, which is seeming more and more possible every day, we think we'll hit 1 million much, much sooner.
Right. Great to see you both. Matt Kaufman, head of...
Okay, now, so he's with Bitwise. Now watch this. Do you remember this clip with Thinking Crypto? This was the Bitwise CEO or COO.
So Matt, there's a whole army
CIO.
that wants me to ask you about the XRP spot ETF you guys filed even before the election, which was amazing. Why did you guys decide to do it, and the timing and so forth?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's first talk about the asset before I talk about the filing. XRP is an asset that has sustained and proven itself over a long period of time. It has a very strong community and very strong technology underneath. From my point of view, we haven't seen what it can do because the company Ripple has been engaged in this difficult lawsuit with the SEC, which is sort of like trying to operate with two arms tied behind your back. I think if we fast forward a year into the future, if we get positive developments in that space, you'll see XRP unleashed. What can it do in the market? It's proven its technology. It has a unique approach to the market.
And Ripple unleashed.
It has a strong community behind it. It has liquidity. It has interest from traditional Wall Street firms. We saw that with SocGen, expanding their stablecoin onto the ledger earlier this week. I think it's a really interesting idea. Like, what can this asset do if it is unleashed? So that's sort of the investment thesis without going too deep into the ways it's sort of iterating and developing. And then, from a filing perspective, again, constrained with what I can say, but I've said this before every time we file, which is that Bitwise doesn't file for fun. We file because we think there is a pathway to launch a product. We're not always right. We filed for a Bitcoin ETF for 5 years before we eventually got there. So,
okay, you get the point. Now I want you to see this. Remember, this is David Sachs. He is the crypto czar he's going to be the crypto czar of the United States, and he just happens to be an investor in you-know-who.
Some of the other investments we made back in 2017, 2018 timeframe, one was a company called Bitwise, which was creating an ETF for crypto. So it's a monthly rebalanced portfolio of, I think, the top 10 cryptocurrencies. And you could buy it. They finally got approved by the SEC, and you can buy it like with a ticker symbol from your E-Trade account, your Schwab account, exactly. Yeah. So that was.
Does my 12-year-old need to come out of retirement and draw you a picture? I don't know if I can get him to do it. I'll have to bribe him. It'll cost me to get him to draw a picture, but I think he will for the right amount of. He still likes Legos. I might have to buy him a Lego set or something to do it. Okay, in DAI XRP, we're going to talk about more stuff, but we're also going to we're going to continue on, what's everybody saying? XRP and XLM are starting to surge right now. What's everybody saying about what it all looks like? Some interesting charts to show you too. I'm a digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Happy New Year's.